Every fall, hunters find out the hard way that a cheap shotgun jams, right when a flock lifts off the water. In 2026, that mistake is completely avoidable. Semi-auto shotguns have gotten faster, softer on the shoulder, and tough enough to handle mud, rain, and cold hands without missing a beat. This video is not about flashy names or hype. It is about 8 shotguns that actually earn their spot in your hands this hunting season. Ranked from good to the one gun that beats every other option on this list. Number 8 is already solid. Number 1 might change what you carry into the field for good. Number 8. Stoeger M3000. This shotgun looks like it walked straight out of a SWAT training video, and it hunts just as hard as it defends. Stoeger built the M3000 as a semi-auto 12-gauge that cycles fast and never seems to slow down, no matter how many shells you run through it. The company has spent years building a reputation for reliable, no-nonsense shotguns that just work, and this one keeps that streak alive. It comes with mounting points all over the forend, so you can add a light, a sling, or anything else you need without sending it to a gunsmith. The sights are the ghost ring style, which basically means a big open circle in the back and a post up front. So lining up a shot is fast and almost automatic once you get used to it. There is also a spot cut into the barrel where you can bolt on a red dot if you want an even quicker sight picture. The loading port up front is wider than most, which sounds small, but makes a real difference when you are trying to shove a shell in with cold, wet, or shaking hands. It holds 4 shells in the tube plus 1 in the chamber, so you get 5 shots before you need to reload. At just under 7 pounds, it is light enough to carry all day without your shoulder complaining, and the stock is shaped to keep the gun steady even when you are swinging fast on a moving target. Out in the field, this gun handles brush, mud, and bad weather without any drama, and it doubles just as easily as a home defense gun if you ever need one. The black synthetic stock will not crack in the cold, and does not need any special care after a wet hunt. For hunters who want one gun that can go from the duck blind to the front door in an emergency, this is a strong starting point, and this one comes in at right around $749. Number 7. Mossberg 940 Pro Waterfowl. Mossberg built this gun specifically for hunters who sit in freezing marshes before sunrise and expect their shotgun to fire every single time. The 940 Pro line has become one of the most talked about shotguns in the waterfowl world over the last few years, and this version pushes it even further. Every important moving part inside the gun, including the piston, the magazine tube, and the trigger parts, gets a special coating that fights off rust and grime, which matters a lot when you are hunting in swamps, flooded fields, and freezing rain. The chamber and barrel are chrome-lined too, so shells slide in and out smoothly even after a long, dirty day in the blind. One of the biggest upgrades on this model is that the receiver is already cut and ready for a mini red dot sight, so you do not need a gunsmith to add one later. It still comes with a fiber optic front sight for those who prefer to keep things simple. The stock adjusts for length and can be shifted to match your build, which helps a lot of hunters shoot more accurately without even realizing why they suddenly feel more comfortable. It also has a stock designed to drain water out instead of trapping it inside, so it will not get waterlogged after a soggy morning on the water. It holds 4 shells plus 1 in the chamber, comes in a 28-inch barrel, and weighs under 8 pounds, which is manageable even after carrying decoys and gear all morning. The recoil is smooth thanks to the gas system, so follow-up shots on a flock of ducks come quick and controlled. This is a shotgun built by people who clearly go hunting themselves. Not just people who design guns on paper. If you spend your mornings waist-deep in cold water chasing waterfowl, this gun was made with you in mind, and it will run you about $860. Number 6. Franchi Affinity 3. This shotgun feels like it disappears in your hands the moment you shoulder it. Franchi has built a name for itself by making shotguns that are slim, light, and easy to swing fast, and this one is a perfect example of that philosophy. It uses what is called an inertia system, which is a simple way of saying the gun cycles itself using the energy from firing. So there is almost nothing to adjust or fuss with, no matter what type of shells you load. That kind of simplicity is exactly what you want when birds are flushing and you do not have time to think about your gun. The stock can be adjusted using shims that come in the box, so you can change the fit to match your body without paying extra for custom work. It weighs under 7 pounds, which makes carrying it through thick brush or up a hillside all day much easier on your arms and shoulders. The barrel runs 28 inches, giving you a smooth, natural swing when tracking a bird across the sky. It comes with 3 different choke tubes, so you can adjust how tight or wide your shot pattern is depending on the range you are hunting at. The bolt handle, bolt release, and loading port are all sized bigger than average, which makes the gun much easier to run with gloves on during cold mornings. The safety button sits right behind the trigger, exactly where your thumb naturally rests, so there is no fumbling around trying to find it in a rush. If something ever needs cleaning, the trigger assembly pops out with a single pin, so you are not stuck taking the whole gun apart on the tailgate of your truck. This is the kind of shotgun built for hunters who want something light enough to carry all day but tough enough to handle years of seasons without complaint. For everything it offers, this one sits close to $949. Number 5. Winchester SX4 Defender. Winchester built this shotgun to do a little bit of everything, and that is exactly why it lands right in the middle of this list. The SX4 Defender uses Winchester's gas system, which is designed to cycle a wide range of shells smoothly, from light target loads to heavier hunting rounds, without needing any adjustment from you. The barrel is short, just 18.5 inches, which makes the gun quick to swing through thick brush, tight blinds, or tricky angles where a longer barrel would get in your way. It comes with 3 choke tubes, so you can dial in your spread depending on whether you are hunting turkey up close or birds further out. The sights are simple and effective, a fiber optic dot up front and a ghost ring circle in the back, which lets you get on target fast without overthinking your aim. There is also a rail on top if you would rather run a red dot instead. The chamber and barrel are chrome plated, which helps the gun handle rain, mud, and rough weather without rusting or gumming up. It holds 4 shells in the tube, weighs just under 7 pounds, and the stock has a textured grip that stays secure in your hands even when they are wet or cold. The recoil pad does a solid job of soaking up the kick, so shooting multiple rounds in a row does not beat up your shoulder the way some shotguns do. This gun works just as well walking through a turkey woods at dawn as it does sitting on your nightstand for peace of mind at night. That kind of flexibility is rare in a shotgun this affordable, and it is part of why so many hunters keep coming back to Winchester. Despite everything packed into this gun, this one shakes out to somewhere around $900. Number 4. Benelli Montefeltro. There is something about this shotgun that makes it feel like a gun built for people who actually love the craft of hunting, not just the results. Benelli has been refining the Montefeltro for decades, and it remains one of the most trusted names among upland hunters and clay shooters who want something reliable without any fuss. The gun runs on Benelli's inertia system, which means it cycles using the simple physics of recoil instead of complicated gas parts, so there is very little to break or clean after a long day out. Benelli also deep freezes the barrel and choke tubes during manufacturing, a process that tightens the metal and helps every shot pattern more evenly, something serious wing shooters actually notice in the field. The walnut stock gives the gun a classic look, paired with a deep blued finish on the barrel and receiver that feels almost like an heirloom the moment you pick it up. It comes in 6 different stock configurations, so hunters of different sizes and builds can find a version that actually fits them properly, which makes a real difference in how comfortably you shoot. The barrel measures 26 inches, giving you a smooth, natural swing whether you are chasing quail through a field or pheasant along a fence line. It holds 4 shells plus 1 in the chamber, and at 6.5 pounds, it is light enough to carry through a full day of walking without wearing you down. The recoil is noticeably gentle for a 12 gauge, which keeps your shoulder fresh even after a long morning of repeated shots. This is not a gun built for tactical use or home defense. It is built purely for hunters who appreciate a shotgun that looks as good as it shoots. If you want a gun that will likely outlive you and still shoot beautifully, this one earns its place, and it comes in at roughly $1,649. Number 3. Browning Maxus 2. Browning did not just update the original Maxus, they rebuilt it into something noticeably smoother to shoot. This gun uses what Browning calls the power drive gas system, which is tuned to cut down recoil no matter what kind of shell you are running, light target loads, or heavy waterfowl rounds. That means less punch to your shoulder and a faster return to target if a second bird flushes right after your first shot. It also uses Browning's lightning trigger, which has one of the quickest reaction times of any semi-auto shotgun trigger, so there is barely any delay between the moment you decide to shoot and the moment the gun actually fires. The stock is Turkish walnut with a satin finish, and it can be adjusted using shims for length, cast, and drop, so you can fit the gun to your exact build instead of just settling for whatever comes in the box. The barrel is 26 inches long and chrome-lined inside the chamber and bore, which keeps things running clean even after firing plenty of shells in muddy or wet conditions. It comes with 3 choke tubes, so you can adjust your spread for different birds and different ranges. The bolt handle and release are both oversized, making the gun easy to run even with thick gloves on during cold hunts. It also includes a magazine cutoff, which lets you unload the chamber without emptying the whole tube, something waterfowl hunters especially appreciate when regulations require a lower shell count. At 7 pounds, it carries comfortably, and the recoil pad soaks up a noticeable amount of the kick compared to older shotgun designs. This is a gun built for hunters who want top-tier performance and do not mind paying for it. Every detail on this shotgun, from the trigger to the shim kit, shows Browning was chasing perfection here, and that level of craftsmanship lands at a price near $1,820. Number 2. Benelli Super Black Eagle 3. Ask any serious waterfowl hunter what shotgun sits at the top of their wish list, and there is a good chance this is the answer. The Super Black Eagle 3 has built a reputation as one of the most dependable and hard-hitting shotguns, made for chasing ducks and geese in brutal conditions. Benelli designed the bolt system on this gun to lock in place more securely than older versions, which cuts down on the kind of misfires that can ruin a hunt when a flock is right overhead. The controls are built bigger than average, so working the bolt, safety, and loading port stays easy even with thick winter gloves on. One of the biggest selling points is the recoil system Benelli calls ComfortTech, which uses a shock-absorbing stock design to soak up a huge amount of the kick, making repeated shots far easier on your shoulder than a standard 12-gauge. This shotgun also comes in 3-gauge options, 12, 20, and 28, so hunters can choose the size that fits their style and the birds they are chasing most. Depending on the gauge, the gun holds either 3 shells in the tube plus 1 in the chamber, though most hunting regulations require plugging it down to 2 plus 1. The barrel comes in a few lengths, and the sight is a simple fiber optic bar that helps you find your target fast against a bright morning sky. It ships with a full set of choke tubes that have been deep frozen during manufacturing, giving you a tighter, more consistent pattern at longer distances. Weight varies by gauge, but even the 12-gauge version stays close to 7 pounds, so a full day of hunting will not wear out your arms the way heavier shotguns do. This is a shotgun built for people who take waterfowl hunting seriously and want a gun that will not let them down when it matters most. Depending on the finish you choose, pricing falls somewhere between $1,699 and $1,899. Number 1. Beretta A400 Xtreme Plus. This is the shotgun that everything else on this list was competing against, and it is easy to see why it takes the top spot. Beretta built the A400 Xtreme Plus around a barrel technology called Stellium Plus, something originally borrowed from competition shooting, and it delivers some of the tightest, most consistent shot patterns you will find in a hunting shotgun. That barrel design also plays a big role in cutting down recoil, so shot after shot feels noticeably softer on your shoulder compared to other 12-gauge shotguns on this list. The rib on top of the barrel is stepped, with a mid-bead and a fiber optic front sight built in, which helps you line up your shot correctly no matter what angle you are shooting from or what the lighting looks like that morning. Beretta also extended the charging handle and bolt release, which sounds small but makes a real difference when your hands are cold, wet, or wearing thick gloves during a tough winter hunt. The loading port is wider than most shotguns too, so shoving shells in quickly during a fast-paced hunt feels far less frustrating. It is chambered for 3.5-inch shells, giving you the option to run heavier loads when you are after tougher birds like geese. The gas system is tuned to cycle a wide range of shell types smoothly, so you are not stuck second, guessing which ammo will actually run reliably through the gun. It comes in a 28-inch barrel and is even available in a left-handed version, something a lot of shotguns on this list do not offer. The stock includes a recoil pad Beretta calls Kickoff, which uses an internal shock system to soften the punch even further. Every part of this shotgun feels like it was built by people who understand exactly what serious waterfowl hunters need in the field. It earns the number 1 spot on this list, and it comes with a price tag close to $1,950. At the end of the day, none of these shotguns matter if you do not know how to use them well. A simple, reliable gun in experienced hands will always beat a flashy one that nobody has practiced with. Whether you pick the budget-friendly Stoeger at the bottom of this list or the Beretta sitting at number 1, What matters most is that you trust your gun completely before you ever step into the field. Take care of it, practice with it, and let it become second nature in your hands. That kind of confidence is what turns an average hunt into a great one. Now I want to hear from you. Are you sticking with a classic gas-operated shotgun, or has an inertia-driven gun like the Benelli won you over? Drop your answer in the comments below.